Okay, hello you guys, back with a short video, not containing any cycling, I'm afraid, but there's going to be some cycling related content anyway. My thought was to have a rundown on the tools I consider essential for a home mechanic. As some of you may know, I do most of the maintenance of on my bikes on my own, and I have through the years collected a portion of tools I feel the need to have for doing the necessary maintenance. I also know that some of you guys, Grant, aka Doily Burger, have been showing us some maintenance videos in his vlogs, and also we have seen Mark Frost plunge or take a leap into the world of bike maintenance. And I am challenging you guys to do even more. My thoughts are that everyone with the right tools can do a lot of maintenance on their own, and when you are doing so, you will probably be able to fix your bike a lot faster than you would leaving the bike at your bike mechanic. Maybe be without the bike for a couple of days and maybe a week or so, and less riding. And you will also get to know your bike and the functionality of your bike even better if you do some maintenance on your own. So to start with, I will start with the tools you need to remove or swap the cassette on your back wheel. In my last video I showed you that I felt the need for swapping out my cassette from 1125 or 1128 to an 1132 because I'm going for a trip with a lot of climbing at the end of this week. So when you need to move or going to move your cassette, you either need a chain whip, as we call it, looks like this, or a tool like this from Pedros with the same functionality as a chain whip, and a tool like this to turn out or to loosen the lockering of the cassette. So I'll show you with the cassette how you can do it. This is two-sided. It is 11 tooth or 12 teeth on each side. So this is 11. So you have to make sure to use the right side. You simply put this on the cassette, and then you pull the other tool inside the lockering, and then you loosen anti-clockwise, and you can pull the cassette off. Then another part you often have to swap out because it's worn, that is the bottom bracket. And to get off the bottom bracket, you firstly have to use this little turn out small screw in the center of the crank arm, so it are not attached to the axle anymore. And to get the crank arms off, you use Allen keys. And the bottom bracket itself, you have to have tools like these to turn off the cups, the end cups of the bottom brackets. These are two different kinds, but with the same function. Sometimes the axle of the bottom bracket or the crankset, chain set, sits a bit stuck, and then you will need a rubber or plastic mallet to get the axle loose and get chain set out. This is a spanner, I guess you would call it, to remove the pedals from the crank arms. I like this more than using this one, much more than using the Allen keys, which is also possible, because this gives you more leverage and more torque, so it is easier to loosen the pedals. Moving on, another part of the bike which need constant swapping is the wires, the brake cables or wires, or the gear cables and wires, and outer the housings, wire housing, cable housing. For that you need a cable cutter. This is a cable cutter that will give you an even and a round cut of the wires and the housings, and the wires will not fray at the end when you use this one. Not like those standard clippers that will ruin the cables. This tool I will consider nice to have, but not needed. This one you use to pull the cables. You attach the cables and you pull it out to tighten the cables, so you have your other hand free to tighten the Allen bolts to secure the cable. It's a handy tool, but not needed. You can also do this with a normal plier. Just pull the cable or the wire with this one, and then secure the wire with the bolt of Allen bolt. Chains you also have to swap out from time to time. To know when to swap your chain, you will need this measurement tool, which is quite easy to use. You just pull that little bit into the chain, and you slip the other one onto the chain, and if this little part falls into a link of the chain is worn out and you have to change it. If it doesn't fall into, you can still use your chain for a bit more. And to break the chain you need a chain tool, which are where you put the chain inside and you turn this around, and you will pull out the pins which are connecting the chains, the links in the chain. Always in handy different screwdrivers, either flatheads or Phillips heads. Especially the Phillips head you need for adjusting some of the screws on the derailleurs, the stop screws and other screws. And I have already shown you, a lot of the bolts on your bikes are Allen keys bolts, so you will need different Allen keys, and sometimes you will need the other kind, Torx, I believe they are called, which are a bit different on the head, but some of the bolts may be of that kind. Small other tools you don't need to have, but which is nice to have, is this little chain hanger that you can clip on your derailleur side of the bike when the wheel is off, and you can pull the chain through it, so you can wash your bike or chain and keep the chain in place. Of course, you will always need tire levers when you are going to swap your tires, and from time to time you have a buckled wheel which need a bit of throwing. You need spoke keys. These are different color-coded ones for different sizes of nipples. You can the best way to fix or to through your wheels is to have a throwing stand, which I have, but I don't have it to show here to show you. But you can also throw your wheels on the bike and use the seat stays for measurements if the wheel is uneven from side to side. Talking of measurements, a tape measure, called tape measure, is also nice to have, especially for the different measurements you have for your contact points on your bike, the seat, your reach and other stuff. So you are making sure that if you're doing some maintenance on your bike, you get the seat at the same position as you have been used to having it. Yes, that was, and of course some insulation tape and scissors are always nice to have. I also have a tool set I don't have in front of me, which are a torque wrench, which is very good to have, especially on carbon bikes, where you can set the torque for 5 Newton meters, 3 Newton meters, according to the numbers you find on your bikes, for your cranks, for your head, for your stem and or your seat. So you make sure that you don't over tighten the bolts and damage them. So that was my short run through of my tools. I like fiddling with my bikes, and I guess that helps me understand how it works, and I can do small adjustments to the bike suiting my body and my riding. So hopefully this will be of some help. I will plan to do more in-depth bike maintenance videos during the fall and winter when I'm riding inside, and so I can show you how to use these tools and hopefully help you guys with your bike maintenance. If you have any questions regarding bike maintenance, please do so in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.